Good morning. Gloomy old morning really, so I thought I would use just an hour or two to bring some logs in. They're sort of becoming buried in nettles and rubbish. Load them up and start to put a few more in the log store out in there. So let's get cracking with that. Well, I don't know what it is the cows are expecting. They got plenty of grub in front of them, or the yearlings. So these are the logs becoming grown in with some brambles an inch thick in the trunk. So I'm just going to start chucking a few of these in and putting them away, ready for maybe a winter in 2 or 3 years' time. Right then. Right, I'll take these back to the lean-to. It's enough to be going on with. So these logs came from our next door neighbour was clearing a lane that had become impassable, and I was of some assistance to them, and I picked up and brought away a few trailer loads of logs and chucked them there. Careful of Miss John's tractor. There we go. So I want to squeeze and stack a few in here without putting too much weight on the little wooden shed if I can help it. So first job is to clear some of this stuff that's sort of fallen down and see if I can make a bit of a space to stack some of these big ones. Well, hell's bells, best laid plans. Now I've come in behind here just to make sure everything was all right before I put logs in. I found a water leak. It was just starting, so I've been sidetracked a bit. So I'll show you what I've been up to. Right, the first thing is look through my ever depleted thing of parts to see what I can replace. But look, this is what's gone wrong. This old 1-inch tap, whoops, has totally blown the side out of its fitting, just corroded away to nothing. And this valve is one I used to use to control an alternative way I've got of filling the cattle troughs from an old borehole. And this fitting has obviously reached the end of its tether. Well, it's bank holiday today, so I don't really want to have to try to find a replacement, even though I'm sure our local farmer's store will be open. So I think, fortunately, I found this in a well, I know I found it, but I think it might work. I'll put this on with a blank just to stop the leak, and worry about putting in a replacement tap, etc. in on another day. Three loads. So I think this will be my last load. I don't want to do me back in. got a big day at work tomorrow. The other thing, of course, I'm doing here by tidying this up is this should be the place where I'll park that plough and mower, get rid of these brambles. There's a old set of grass harrows in those brambles somewhere as well. I haven't needed to use those for years, so they might not even be usable now when I drag them out, but we'll see. But I think I'll make this my last load. The sun's coming out a bit. Another good reason to stop. Right, that's all I'm going to do on there for today. It's getting too much like hard work putting the big logs up the top, so what I'll probably do now is fill up that shed. I'll chop them up a bit up here so I can just throw smaller logs in on top, because they'll have to be chopped up at some point anyway. So I think that'll be the next job. And I've also got another wood shed, the one that we've used this winter, to fill up with logs. So I might chop a few into there, depending on how many are down at the outside the shed that will still need to go on. So thank you very much for watching and subscribing. It's much appreciated. Keep your comments coming, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio.